Well, right.
Alive, why not? You talking
for sure, for sure.
Amen, amen. Thank you so much. L'chaim.
It's your birthday. You have the ability to give brachas. Give me a bracha.
Yes,
I should find my wallet.
yes.
Amen.
I haven't seen it since the beginning of the week.
You should find your wallet.
With all the contents in it.
With all your content, you should donate pledge to Mayor Balanes.
I've done it 3 times already.
Okay. Make sure you have my bracha to find it.
Thank you. Bye.
L'chaim.
And for me, please, Rabbi.
Bracha, Hashem, everything. Ruchnis, Gashmi, spiritually, physically should your will should be fulfilled. You should get everything. You, mishpacha, family, parnasa, everything. Berachava.
Good you, Rabbi.
Amen. Thank you.
Rabbi.
Rabbi, I need a bracha on my shlichus to raise money for Yeshiva Torah Ohr so we can get a brand new building.
Amen.
Proper
It's going to happen. It's going to happen this year. You know what I'm saying?
That's a bracha. It's going to happen this year.
Amen. We're ready.
I told you in my home, and I'm saying it online. Now it's being recorded. These things get saved online. So you could always look back, huh?
And say to all the fans to donate to the website.
Okay, make sure anybody who likes to support our work. Our website is miamitorah.com/donate. And the Mitzvah Shem, we will. I'm predicting within 12 months we're going to sign a contract. And we're going to build a base medrash. Chaim.
Amen.
So maybe I'll start off with a story.
You have a location already?
I'm looking for one. If you have an idea, let me know.
167 and 9th Avenue. It used to be a Jewish school. It's a huge building.
Okay.
It's just sitting there for 20 years.
Okay, maybe that'll be the one. So l'chaim. So we'll start off with the story. There was the founder of the Hasidic movement was the Baal Shem Tov, Yisrael Baal Shem Tov. He was a hidden tzaddik until the age of 36. Eventually, he revealed himself. He was an orphan. It says that he learned Torah from someone named Achi Ashileni, which is from the time when the Yidden were in the Midbar. Very, very holy tzaddik, somebody who really took davening and Ahavas Yisrael seriously. And Allah, he was a Yireh Shemayim, and Oyev Yisrael loved Jewish people, loved mitzvahs, loved Hashem. And before he passed away, he had an assistant named Rabbi Yaakov. It was a gabbai. You know what a gabbai is? Somebody who would, attendant to what it needs to do. And he told them, this is like the parting wish, he said, your mission in life, your shlichus, what you need to do is you need to go around and you need to tell stories of the Baal Shem Tov. Tell stories of the Baal Shem Tov, go around from city to city, and that's going to be what you need to do. Tell stories, because you can imagine somebody who was a gabbai, so with the Rabbi, with the Baal Shem Tov, he knows a lot about it. You experience yourself open miracles, so your job is to go tell people these miracles. Okay. Baal Shem Tov eventually passed away, and he started doing it. He would go from town to town, city to city, and he would tell stories of the Baal Shem Tov, try to get a little donation here and there. I mean, you can imagine it wasn't a very, very big parnasa. It wasn't. How much money could you make by telling stories of the Baal Shem Tov? Maybe. Until one day he heard.
He asked the Baal Shem Tov, when will I know when I'm supposed to stop?
Until
Baal Shem Tov told him.
That's my story.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. So he would go around from place to place, and it was pointed out to me. He once asked the Baal Shem Tov, "How will I know when I'm supposed to stop?" And he said, "You'll get a sign. It'll be very clear." So one time he got a call, or not a call, not a WhatsApp. There was no WhatsApp back then, but he got a message from a place far away that there was a rich guy, a Gevir, and he paid a lot of. He means a wealthy person, charity. He would pay a lot of money for stories of the Baal Shem Tov. So he accepts the deal, and this guy sent him a horse and a wagon and a big accommodations and 5 stars. And he finally gets there. He wanted him to come for Shabbos. He gets there on a Thursday, and this place was like a mansion. It was a 5-star hotel, 5-star, like everything you could imagine. There were maids, and there were the finest linen and fruits. And anytime you need something, you want meat, you want whatever it is, just tell my maids, tell my butlers, we're going to get everything that you need. And he gets there on a Thursday, and it was like really the orchards. And comes for Shabbos. Friday night they daven, and this guy invites a big crowd. He says, "Look who I have here, of Yaakov, the gabbai of the Baal Shem Tov. He's going to tell a story of the Baal Shem Tov." And all of a sudden he's telling the story, he's about to say his story, and what happens? His mind draws blank.
Oh, it's the worst.
He gets up. Ever happened to you? You try to say something, and all of a sudden...
That happened last night.
Oh, yeah?
You can't remember one story about the Baal Shem
Tov. Now this doesn't make sense, because... Who was this? This was the gabbai of the Baal Shem Tov. Now the gabbai of the Baal Shem Tov, he lived decades by the Baal Shem Tov. And you can't remember one story. I mean, doesn't make sense. You probably saw hundreds and hundreds of stories. So, okay. So he says, "I'm really, really sorry. I guess maybe the traveling, a little bit tired of the way." And the host says, "Don't worry, let's try again." So he already advertised. A lot of people came the next day. He put him up in shul, and he says, "We're gonna have a little story." And then you can imagine he drew blank again. Then by the Kiddush, even a bigger crowd came, and he said, "I'd like to introduce Rabbi Yaakov, the gabbai of the Baal Shem Tov, to tell a story of the Baal Shem Tov." And what happens? His mind draws blank. He doesn't have anything. And they tried again by the Shalosh Shudas, the third meal. And what happens? I would like to introduce you. Yeah, and the people were getting very, very frustrated. One is?
Oh, he keeps looking at me when I'm taking a picture.
Oh, okay. So the people were getting very, very frustrated. People were getting very frustrated because each time they came, they wanted to hear a story of the Baal Shem Tov, and they cried. Nothing. So finally, he says, let's give it one more chance. Malava Malka. Now, Malka, this time, he had a small minion Maida, puts out a spread, and this time a very, very small crowd came. Because they had been basically let down for like 4 times already, Friday night, and Shabbos morning, and Shabbos Shabbos. And this guy the whole time is apologizing. He says, you probably think I'm some sort of fraud, like I deceived you. I was looking for a free vacation. Basically, they were given like, kind of like somebody who signs up for a birthright and they're not Jewish, right? Oh, look what I get a free flight, and I get a free travel and food, and really deception. I'm not even Jewish, but I just want to cash in on something. You have people like that. Sometimes they don't like to work for things. They like to get everything for free, and they don't like to give, and they like to take.
Democrats.
But,
Democrats.
But it's not healthy. A normal, respectful person, they don't like to just be a taker. They like to be on the giving side. They like to give. They like to contribute. They like to help. They like to, be there and inspire rather than take. He says, you probably think I'm a fraud, and the host is being so nice the whole time. He's saying, no, I don't think you're a fraud. I think you're true. I think you just had a long journey. Please try again, and nothing. He says, I'm really sorry. He says, how about you stay another few days? Maybe stay a week. I want to stay for next Shabbos. We'll try again. And Rav Yaakov was so distraught that nothing could come out of his mouth. He says, I can't stay anymore. I really can't. I have to leave. So so what happens? He calls, calls for the horse and buggy, and he's about to get in, and just as he's putting his foot on the horse and buggy, right, this time again, very, very small crowd, and the host is there, he says, wait, something just popped into my head. All right, what it's called? Barka Mavrik. You just have a flash. Sometimes you don't have an idea, and all of a sudden it comes back. And he says, I want to tell you one story. No? What's so funny? So what goes on? So he says a story like this. He says, one time, it was a Motzei Shabbos, and the Baal Shem Tov, he called me, and he called the coachman. His name was Alexei, and he said, let's go to a certain city. We're going, and this would happen often. Sometimes the Baal Shem Tov would go.
Alexei was a goy.
Yeah, Alexei was a goy. Very good. And sometimes he would go with me, and alone, we would take a few chassidim. This time it was just me and him. And often, usually what would happen is we would get in the coach, and we'd go to places which were very, very far away. Very, very far away. And usually the horse would start going, Alexei would, the horse is going, and after a few minutes, either Alexei would fall asleep, or what happened, the Baal Shem Tov would say to Alexei, you could turn around and go home, and the horses would go themselves, and they would get to the place very, very quickly.
Fitzat
Derech, as it's called, right? So they go to this place, and they get there, and there was a city. There were some Jewish, there were businesses and Jewish homes. They were on the second floor of some businesses, and right across from that was a big amphitheater. You guys know what an amphitheater is? An amphitheater is an amphitheater. It's a big coliseum, right? It's a big place where you could where stages and there's productions and
open air stage.
An open air stage where people get up and there's crowds and they speak. And what happens? All the homes are boarded up. In other words, there's businesses, there's Jewish homes, and there's a lot of boards. Oh, he wants to l'chaim very quickly. No problem. Give him a l'chaim. Give him a l'chaim. So he's by this place, and the Baal Shem Tov tells Rav Yankiv, he says, go knock on the door and say hello to the Jewish people over there. L'chaim, Rabbi told him. L'chaim. Go say hello to the Jewish people. He knocks on the door, and he hears a voice of a Jew, and he's saying, "Go away! Get out of here! This is a crazy time. You know what you're doing." And he persists, and the Baal Shem says, "No, you go in." And they go in, and the two of them enter, and he says, "What's going on?" He says, "You don't understand. There's a galach. You know what a galach is? What's a galach? Galach is like it's like a priest,
Guy who molests little boys.
a non-Jewish priest, and he was responsible for making many, many pogroms. You know what a pogrom is?
Yeah, pogrom.
Huh?
October 7th.
Huh?
Yeah, like it.
A pogrom. What happened?
Yeah, really.
It's when no, I can't see you guys. Get better angles. Oh, that's better. So what would happen? A pogrom is when the non-Jews, they would get very upset at the Yidden, the Jewish people, and they would try to make riots. They would loot and they would break homes and stores and destroy and sometimes even hurt and murder people for no reason, just because they were Jewish. So this guy brings them in, the Baal Shem Tov Rabbi Yaakov, says, "Don't you understand? This famous Golach, this famous priest, is about to make a pogrom. He's been doing this for all over different cities. He gets up, and he's going to go to the amphitheater, and he's going to start speaking, oh, the Jewish people are so terrible, and all the problems with the money, and the filth, and the disease, and he's going to say all sorts of things. I think you could, okay. You could spread it all out if you'd like. And you better just stay away. That's why the boards are on the homes. That's when this one runs out, I guess. What?
No, it's a lot of luck.
Well, I thought you guys were going to say l'chaim.
Okay.
Give him a little l'chaim.
Avram likes a big
Oh, I got mine. You're the only one. Everybody?
Okay, l'chaim. Pass it around. So what happens? So the Baal Shem Tov's inside this home. Thank you very much. And the first thing that happens is, the first thing that he does is he tells his assistant Rabbi Yankiv. He says, go out and see this galach, see this preacher. Go out and tell him that the Baal Shem Tov wants to talk to you. In other words, this galach gets up
On the stage.
and he's on the stage and he's starting his speech. He starts saying, all the famine, all the money, and he starts speaking, and he was a very good speaker. So you get what's going on? He's speaking about how terrible the Jews are. He's got a crowd of angry, we say non-Jews, and they're listening to him speak, and everybody's scared, and the Baal Shem Tov says, go outside and tell this galach, tell this priest, that Rabbi Yisrael Baal Shem Tov wants to talk to you. And the homeowner says, this is suicide, this is crazy, you're going to go outside? You're going to go outside in the middle of a pogrom?
Onto the stage.
You don't go on top of the stage when somebody's speaking. The whole thing is about Yidden. The whole thing is about how terrible Yidden are. You're going to go out and put yourself there? So, the first miracle was that he went and he was unscathed. He went there and none of the Goyim bothered him. And he went further. He went further on, and he finally gets to the Baal Shem Tov. And when he gets to the Baal Shem Tov sorry, when he gets to this galach, he gets to this minister. The minister, he says, the Baal Shem Tov wants to speak to you. And
Right away.
And the galach says to him, not now. I can't speak to him right now. I'm in the middle of giving my speech. So he goes back, went up to Baal Shem Tov. The Baal Shem Tov says, no, go again. I want to speak to him right now. And he wants to speak to him right now. He goes again. Again, this time he's unscathed again. And finally he gets close. And he says, the Baal Shem Tov wants to speak to you now. The Baal Shem Tov wants to speak to you. And he keeps going further. And eventually this galach gave in. And he says, okay, I'll go speak to the Baal Shem Tov.
If you don't come now, there's going to be a big consequence.
I want to speak, I'll go. So eventually he comes. And as he's going in, the crowd disseminates. It starts getting smaller and smaller and smaller. He's waiting. He's speaking the whole time to the Baal Shem Tov in this room, and all the goyim by the pogrom they start leaving. Like what? They wait. You know how long it was? It was first half an hour, then an hour, then at the end it was 4 hours. 4 hours. And it was 4 hours, and then eventually. It was 4 hours, and eventually the crowd left. So as he's telling the story, again, this is the Rav Yaakov telling the story. As he's telling the story, the host of the story says, I have a confession. And he gets up. He says, you know who that galach was? You know that priest was? That priest was me. I was the priest. This is the Jewish guy who's hosting everybody. He says, I was the priest. He says, what happened? When I was a child, I didn't have a good experience with Judaism. I wasn't a good learner, and I get in trouble, and they would give me punishment. They put me in timeout and lock me up, and sometimes spit on me. And I swore that I would get the Yidden back. And I went off the way. I left Judaism, and eventually I became part of the secular world. I became a priest, and I had a hatred. And I went and let's just say I made a few pogroms. Because of me, there were more than one Yid who lost their lives. More than one Jewish people, they lost their life. And I was at this place, and then eventually, when I was there, the Baal Shem Tov, as you know, he called me in, and I spoke with him for 4 hours. And basically, the Baal Shem Tov, he cleaned my neshama, he cleaned my soul. He's telling me, talking about the Eibishter, Hashem, and truth, and tshuva, issues that I had, and I wanted to overcome things. So after that, I decided I'm going to change myself. I'm going to decide I'm going to be about tshuva. I'm going to return to my roots. So eventually, I left, obviously, the priesthood, and I went and I started learning again. And now today, I went into business, and I'm successful, and I'm married, and I have a nice, beautiful Jewish family. And I asked the Baal Shem Tov, at that time when I was meeting him for 4 hours, I was getting all the things I do, how will I know when my tshuva is accepted? And the Baal Shem Tov told him, the reason you're going to know when are you going to know when your tshuva is accepted? When you hear the story told about you. When you hear the story is told about you. So he says to him, you think that the reason why you couldn't remember the story Friday night and Shabbos day and Shabbos afternoon, it was because of you? It wasn't nothing to do with you, your memory. It was because of me. I was the one shivering. I was the one who was, I was thinking, did I do tshuva enough? Was it accepted? Was it not accepted? And I kept trying to do, and I kept trying to make that you should tell the story, and you were drawing a blank because my tshuva wasn't accepted yet. And now eventually, that you told the story, now I do my tshuva. So I'm telling this story because it's really because Zman Gram applicable to the time. We're in the month of Chodesh El. Chodesh El is a time just like this Yid. He locked himself in the room of the Baal Shem Tov and he did reflection, introspection, and eventually came to the truth. So it's a time where all of us, as we're a few weeks away from Rosh Hashanah, the day where we crown Hashem as our King, and eventually we're written up for a good year, and it's sealed on Yom Kippur. And today we have to lock ourselves away. It's time, a month, we have to lock ourselves and do introspection, just like a person has a business, and they have day-to-day conduct they do. So too, once a year, we have to have an outlook. We have to look at the whole thing about what we did, and think of how we could better ourselves and how we could really turn on the way of truth. So l'chaim, may we all make tshuva with simcha to l'chaim.
L'chaim, Rabbi, try this.
Thank you. Oh. So it's our niggin? No, niggin.
Hey, tzama, kama lecha sorry. Hey, tzama lecha kama lecha sorry. Echti durin Marko, ty jedziesz na jarmarku, nie kupiajesz, nie prodajesz, tylko lubisz smarku. Echti durin Marko, ty jedziesz na jarmarku, nie kupiajesz, nie prodajesz, tylko lubisz smarku. Ej, tzama lecha nafshi, kama lecha besari. Ey, tzama lecha nafshi, kama lecha besari. Echti durin Marko, ty jedziesz na jarmarku, nie kupiajesz, nie prodajesz, tylko robisz smarku. Echti durin Marko, ty jedziesz na jarmarku, nie kupiajesz, nie prodajesz, tylko robisz smarku. Hey, stinking Yetzer Hara, what you doing in the market? You don't buy, you don't sell, all you do is stink and smell.
I like that. I didn't know that one.
That's basically what it means.
Oh, Chaim. No, have it another niggin?
Happy Thursday.
Thank you.
Go.
No problem. We'll see you around.
Be in touch, Rabbi. Thank you so much for everything.
Szczęśliwą sobotę, żydowska morda.
Rabbi, here.
Thank you.